Hello, I'm Megan Jones, editor at Call Centre Helper, and I'm delighted to be joined today by John Pearson, who's contact centre manager at Citizens Advice Gateshead, to take a closer look at an initiative that's changing the way that people think about mistakes. So, John, that's a mistakes trophy, isn't it? So, what is a mistakes trophy?
In its most basic sense, Megan, it's just a little trophy that jumps from desk to desk when people naturally make a little mistake. Whether that's just a slight error on a call or a little bit of feedback or anything like that, and it can land on any desk, including mine.
So, it's not just for agents, it's for all levels of management across the contact centre.
Absolutely, because I think it normalizes the fact that everyone can make silly little mistakes. Everybody does a brilliant job, but
Yeah.
people still do sometimes get things a little bit wrong, and it's just a way of normalizing that and making it less scary when someone finds out that they might need to do something slightly different.
Yeah. It's such a brilliant idea. So, winding back the clock a bit, why did you introduce it in the first place?
I think it was part of what we were trying to do to create a really good positive team spirit. It goes back to when I was a team leader. I was really conscious that I wanted people to celebrate things. So we had a little trophy, which was a hero trophy, which celebrated the good things. And we had a trophy that moved around if somebody did something silly. So they might have said something wrong on a call, or they might have filled something in on the system incorrectly. Or in my case, I might have booked in a meeting but not sent somebody some of the details of that meeting, for example. And it was just there so that people didn't worry if they got feedback, because feedback's so vital. Feedback happens all of the time, and people always worry naturally if they get some feedback about something that they could have done differently or better. So we used to move both of those trophies around. If somebody did something brilliant, the hero trophy appeared on the desk, and they'd find out about that. And if somebody did something that would class as a mistake, which is a broad umbrella, that would appear on their desk. And the interesting thing as we started it was that the trophy for heroes moved around quite nicely, but the one for mistakes that really got people talking in a really sort of positive and fun way, where people would be looking, and if it turned up on my desk, the entire team would be looking at me, wondering what I'd done. So I'd then have to confess, so to speak, what had gone wrong. But it really got people talking, and by that, it helped people learn because if somebody had made an error on a call and they shared that with someone, that's sharing with the team, so, a lesson that they've learned that hopefully somebody else can take forward and do something slightly different themselves. And I think it was positioned very much as a fun thing. It wasn't, anything to beat anybody up with. It was absolutely there to try and get people to realize that everybody makes mistakes. It's normal. We just have to learn from that.
So it's not just about moving the trophy around, it's about then kickstarting that conversation as to why the trophy's landed where it has in the first place.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there'd be people who would be on calls who'd be desperate to finish that call. They'd do it right so they didn't get the trophy, but they'd be desperate to get off there so they could find out what it was that the colleague had done, or if it was on my desk, what had I done?
Mhm.
People would be whispering to each other about what have they done and what's that for, and that sort of thing. And it would really prompt conversation,
Mhm.
in a way that the hero trophy didn't prompt that in the same way. People tend to not talk too much about success. It's a natural thing. I think we worry more about the things that go wrong than the things that go right. But those conversations are really, really important because, as I've said, it really builds that culture of understanding that we all want to improve, we all want to do our best, and if we don't, we all want to know what we can do to improve.
So one of the biggest benefits then has just been normalizing that conversation about the fact that everyone makes mistakes.
Absolutely, absolutely, and the secondary benefit is that it's almost free coaching, if you will, because people will share what they've done wrong and they'll talk about how they can do it better. So somebody else might have not known that little bit of information,